What's going on, everybody? This is Joe, and I am here for one of our individual Edge of Eternities pre-release kit openings. If you missed it, I actually have already done 3 of these, but it was in one video, and so if you want, you can click up in the top right-hand corner up there to go check that video out for yourself. I will link it up there for you. We filmed that at the pre-release itself, and then after the pre-release, after the whole weekend, I should say, there were some extra pre-release kits, you know, just lying around, and me, being the person that has opened more pre-release kits than anyone else here on YouTube, I just had to get some more, and so we have one this week and one next week. That one's over here, but that'll be, like I said, next week's video. For now, people had issues with these this weekend, or the pre-release weekend. I won't lie. Find magic among the stars. I actually really, I didn't talk about it that night, but I really like that phrase. You know, it's always interesting to see whatever the phrase is under this pull tab, because they've done a pretty good job, but this one's definitely one of my favorites. It's very flavorful for the set, and I love a good pun. I love this as well. This person kind of looks like Kaya. I know it's not, but it kind of looks like Kaya from behind. Like, I think that's supposed to be a hood, but it definitely looks like her hair. But yeah, somebody looking out like a spaceport window or whatever, looking at the ships battling in space. Looks really cool. We've got the charge counters, +1/+1 counters, and stun counters. And then, you know, different things on the opposite sides of those. This is the little symbol that they give us here. I'm messing up all the dice back here. But this is the little symbol that they give us here. I actually like this one a lot. I think it looks kind of cool. Some of these are not great, but this one is pretty great with the kind of the theme of the set being like the black hole or whatever. You can see a little bit more of that picture inside, right? So we'll leave that off to the side for now. And we have the box itself. I'll try to not cover it up. It's basically the same as the other side, or as the outside, I should say. And we got a blue D20, which is actually pretty cool considering the fact that I only have one blue D20, so now I have 2. I was finally able to get one of each of these. You just got to kind of trade around at the store, but I will say the blue one, I think specifically, was very difficult to get, so I guess I didn't have to try so hard for it because I was going to get one in this, but obviously I didn't know that, and I think that's how I missed out on one of the ones from Final Fantasy, but I'll get it eventually, don't you worry. So we have the packs themselves. We have the divider that comes in here that you can use to separate your deck and your sideboard. I have noticed, because this happened just now as well, that the insert likes to hide. For the past couple of kits that I've opened from this set, this has been like wedged. It didn't come out of the box just now when I poured everything out of there. But anyway, this, for folks that are unaware of how pre-release kits work, this little insert on one side has a list of tips for how to build a pre-release deck. I would say read this, follow this. It's got pretty good advice, but I would also say, and I always say, find other people at the store. Find employees if they're available, or other players at the table who are kind. Hopefully you'll be able to read the room a little bit. I know at our sponsor store, Champion Card Collector in Poughkeepsie, New York, where we go for the pre-releases, and if you go, you'll see us there for sure at any pre-releases going forward, especially the upcoming Spider-Man one. The players are great there, and the community is great there, and people, anytime anyone has questions, other people are more than happy to answer those questions. We are sometimes those people that get asked, and sometimes I'm the one doing the asking. So, you know, you don't have to be a new player to get some assistance there. And then the other side has a bit of lore, I guess you could say, from the set. It talks about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets, right? We've got Uthros over here. This gas giant boasts floating cities and supply stations in its upper atmosphere and curious secrets at its core. So again, that's the blue planet with artifacts matter. We have Evendo, the green planet, an icy world with lush jungles thawing beneath its surface, spurred on by Eumidian terraforming. And the Eumidians, I believe, are the bug people. We've got Adasia, or the white planet. Adasia, a world defined by its powerful winds. thin atmosphere and massive ringed solar arrays. So we've been wondering what these things are, right? You maybe can see them back here as well. I said it looks like the outside of a microphone, but there you go. So it's ringed solar arrays. We have, it's a little awkward because the planet is here. So just remember that that's what that looks like. I guess it's very near to the black hole, but it's Caesar Secundi. Irradiated and slowly being pulled into the supervoid, but a holy site for the monoists dwelling underground. Very cool. We have Cavarone, once a resource-rich paradise, now largely devastated by mining, and prospects are grim for what remains, and it literally looks like it's being destroyed in this artwork. And then there is Sothera, which is the black hole here, or they're calling it the supervoid. Once a star, now a collapsing supervoid at the heart of the system, and ringed by a light-giving photon collar. Very, very cool. And again, all those planets are available as cards in the set, but they are mythics, including Secor Secundi. We also have our promo foil rare or mythic, and it is a Diadrene Synthesis Amalgam. Not bad foiling on this one, to be honest. And it is green and white and X for an 0-1, but it enters with a number of counters on it equal to the amount of mana spent to cast it. So if you just cast this for 2, it's a 2-2. X can be 0. But any amount of mana extra that you put into X, this thing gets that much bigger. And then it says, whenever you attack, you may remove a +1/+1 counter from each of 2 creatures you control. And if you do, draw a card and make a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. So notably, you could remove one from this, because this is going to have a bunch of counters, but there has to be something else with counters. But if you're in green and white, you're probably going to have counters, because that's what that color pair wants to be doing. And that's not a bad color pair. Maybe we'll open Ouroboros. That would be fun. That's a pipe dream. That's an incredible mythic in the set. In green, but if we get it, I mean, obviously, I'd be very happy. And I think in general, like if I can play this card, I would. We'll have to see what the rest of the packs have in store for us. So we start with a Cavarone Turbo Drone, a Grav Pack Monoist, Cryo Shatter, Weft Blade Enhancer, not bad. This does +1/+1 counter type things. We have a Shattered Wings. For pre-release, by the way, if you're unfamiliar with how we do things in these videos, I would love to know from you in the comments down below what kind of a deck you would make out of this kit. Obviously, you have the benefit of rewinding and going back to like check once we've gotten to the end, but still, let me know what you would play. I would say that for this, we're typically looking at a pre-release type situation, which is best of 3, so you would have a chance to sideboard, and this is traditionally a sideboard card because a lot of the spacecraft are artifacts, and there are a number of artifacts in this set. You probably could get away with mainboarding this and then maybe boarding it out instead of boarding it in. But again, you can let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below, especially, again, if you would play green. Obviously, if you wouldn't, this isn't probably worth splashing for, but still, something to think about. We have a Depressurize, very nice removal spell. I like that card. Drill Too Deep, again, could be removal for an artifact. It could be, if you have a bunch of spacecraft or planets, you could put some charge counters on there, but I mean, both of these seem very cornery. I'm not a big fan of the spacecraft/planets. It depends on the card itself, but most of them are probably not worth your time if you're trying to be quick, which you should be, because that's how you win games. And then again, destroying an artifact at instant speed is great, but it might be a sideboard in as opposed to a sideboard out. We have a Larval Scoutlander. So this is one of those those spacecraft that is actually not bad. It's a 3-mana artifact spacecraft. If you get to 7+, it's a 3/3 flyer, which is kind of a lot. But the nice thing is you can sack a land or a lander to go get 2 lands. It's basically Harrow, right? 2 and a green to sack a land and go get 2 lands, but it gives you the benefit of a lander, and it leaves behind this 3/3 possible 3/3 flyer in the future, so that if you are ahead, you can tap some things and make this thing, go to the skies. But basically, the way that you have to look at these is how I used to look at planets, and I'm sure or not planets, well, that's literally what we're talking about, battles. And that's how I used to look at battles, and I'm sure many people did. But if you don't like what the battle does before it flips, you don't play it. So if you don't like what this thing does before it becomes a 3/3 flyer, you don't play it. But I think this is good enough, especially because green, usually green-red, but at least green has a fair number of landfall strategies, and this is a great way, and lander strategies, and this is a great way to sack a lander, which isn't even a land drop for you, and get 2 more land. It really helps you ramp very well, which again, the green and blue deck wants to be doing. So there are a lot of options here for you, and I really like this card for that, and it's our first uncommon. We have a Steel Swarm Operator as our second. Not in love with this one. It wants to be in the artifact deck, but even then I'm not in love with this one. And a Tanuk Memorial Ensign. Obviously here is that green-red landfall guy that I was literally just talking about. There is a possibility with some fixing lands that we could be green, red, white, because we do have Diadrene here. But again, we'll check out our rares and mythics. And notably, we're done with 3 uncommons. So after our 3rd uncommon, there are a couple of different options for cards. We could have another uncommon, we could have a rare or mythic, we could have a lot of different things. So we could have like a Stellar Sights or something like that. So our next card is a Stomping Ground. Wow. I mean, look, you know, just because we opened this does not mean we are immediately in red and green. It does help us splash if red is a splash, for example, like if we're trying to go green, white, splash red for things, or if we're trying to splash white, let's say, we still would put this in if we were in those 2 colors at all. But also, it's a Stomping Ground, it's a shock land, it's valuable, and so I'm happy to open it. I don't love opening them in pre-release kits when I'm playing in the event, because usually I can't necessarily put them in the deck. But, I mean, I guess in this case, maybe I could, and that would be cool. But still, Stomping Ground, very happy to have. Great card. Behind it, our other rare or mythic is Ragost, Deft Gastronaut. Now, notably, this card could be played if we are going red, green, white, but this needs a lot of different things to work for it. You need to have artifacts. And if we're going red, green, white, that's not really an artifact deck, right? It's a +1/+1 counter landfall deck. So, I mean, it's a rare in our colors, but could we actually make it work? It makes food, right? Is that right? At the beginning of your end step? No, I guess not. So anyway, I don't know about this card. The flavor of it is cool. This dude is hilarious. But if we are in red, green, white, I don't know that I could justify this. I would count up the number of incidental artifacts we had, and if we did have a good number of them, maybe I would, but this is not a windmill slam include, in my opinion. Of course, if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Behind it, our foil, yes, is a foil common in Hull Carver, and that foiling is really nice. Wow, that background is beautiful in foil. I have not seen this card in foil yet, I don't think. Maybe you'll go back and watch my long video that I made. If you're interested, you can click up in the top right-hand corner. I went and opened 12 boxes of the set, and I opened many foils. So maybe you saw me open a foil there of this card, and I just forgot. It was a 4-hour video. So, you know, sit back, enjoy. If you want to see somebody open over $2,000 worth of product from this set. There's a gorgeous island, and that is play booster packs like these, but also collector booster packs. 6 boxes of collector booster packs. It was an absolutely incredible video, and if you've not gotten a chance to check it out, I highly encourage you to do so, and thank you to everybody who already has. We have a lander/drone token as well at the end. That's pack 1. Here's pack 2. While I'm doing shameless plugs, first of all, I really do think people will enjoy that video. That's why, 1, I make it, and 2, that I talk about it. But, you know, thanks to Champion for letting us do it. And like I said, you can go check out those videos for links to Champion's website. And if you are anywhere near the Poughkeepsie, New York area and you head to the store, let them know that Geek for All sent you. We have a Bright Spear Zealot. A Sky Stinger, very nice. Another Cavarone Turbo Drone. I really like this card. I think it's very good. Gravpack Monoist again. Cryo Shatter again. Okay, so the other pre-release kits that we opened did this as well. There just are going to be many, many duplicates in the exact same order. And that's a little tilting because you miss out on some cards that are very good, but also if you get a number of cards that are very good for your deck, like that Cavarone Turbo Drone, for example, then maybe you're happy that you have a bunch of duplicates. But I guess that remains to be seen. We have a Red Tiger Mechan. I would absolutely play this card. 3/3 haste with Warp 2. Otherwise, it's 4 mana. Like, absolutely incredible card. Definitely gets in if we're in red. If we're splashing, maybe not. But if we're in solid red, then yes. Radiant Strike, another one that gets in. Now, this says destroy target artifact, but it also says or tapped creature. It's at instant speed and you gain 3 life. So, like, you can get rid of a creature that attacked you last turn, but it's an instant. So when they turn their creature sideways to attack, you can kill it before it deals damage to you. This card is absolutely incredible, and it would definitely get in for in white. We have a Dubious Delicacy. I love this card so very much. It is absolutely incredible. When it enters, you can kill something, it's a food, or you can make them lose 3 life. Like, come on. Absolutely incredible card. And it's our first uncommon. It's uncommon for a reason. We have Sir Vondum the Lucent, which is also an incredible gold uncommon. Wow. Very, very nice. Okay, it is double black, which is a little tough from what we've been looking at so far, but, I mean, it's better than Ragost, right? And a Code Cracker Hound as our third uncommon in this pack. I'm not in love with this card, I won't lie. But obviously in the right deck, it could be pretty good, but we're nowhere near blue right now. So behind it, our next card is an Edge Rover, another uncommon notably, and an artifact. We did talk about possibly caring about artifacts. It's a 1-mana reach creature, and when it dies, each player makes a lander, which is also an artifact, by the way. But you do kind of have to give up the fact that you're giving your opponent a lander. But it is a 2/2 reach, so you could block some things with this, which is not bad. A lot of the flyers in this set that aren't like spacecraft are rather small, I've found. So this would be a pretty decent card to have. So I would probably play it. Which means our next rare or mythic is a Corral of the Void. I'm not a big fan of this card, I won't lie. There are certain decks that can absolutely make very good use of it. We haven't seen it yet in this pool. And if you don't have it, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan, personally, if you can't keep it around for long enough. But here is Corral of the Void. I love the art, by the way, if that needs to be said. Our foil? Yes, our foil is a Cryo Shatter. That is our third Cryo Shatter, notably. And that foiling pattern is very interesting. With all that, like, white in the background. Wow, that's super cool. Okay, I like that. Our land is a foil as well, in a foil regular plains. But again, the land art's absolutely incredible. And then in foil, I mean, what more could you ask for? Very, very cool looking. And then our token is a lander / robot. Very nice. Lots of landers, obviously, in the token slot. Hey, if you also enjoy watching people play Sealed, we play Sealed until it goes away every Monday on MTG Arena at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on this channel, live, and we would love to have you join us. You can influence my choices of what we put in the deck, or just cheer me on, or maybe, I guess, cheer against me if you really want to. I'm not going to tell you what to do or say. But yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, live on this channel on Mondays. We'd love to have you. We have a Frontline War Rager. It's good to see a unique card from here. An Insatiable Skittermaw, not bad. A Star Breach Whale. Okay, good one. Starport Security. I like this card. A Germinating Worm. I also like this card. A Dock Worker Drone. Yes, please. Lots of good white cards and green cards, but good white cards for the +1/+1 counter deck. A Zealous Display. I'm not in love with this one. It's fine if you need like a 23rd, but I usually don't pick this one in my white decks personally. A Rayblade Trooper, on the other hand, does get into my white +1/+1 counter decks. This is an incredible card, and that's our first uncommon. We have a Vault Guard Trooper as the second. I don't love this guy. I guess it's fine. 5 mana, 5/5, and you could get upside for it. And a Susurian Dirgecraft, which is just, I mean, this is the Phil Collins spacecraft, and I really won't hear anything about it besides that, because it's Susu Studio. But it is not that great. They sack a non-token creature, but it's at like 5 mana, so unless you're really manipulating the battlefield enough, like, they're just going to have like a random 2/2 that they're going to sacrifice. Like they're not going to lose their best creature, or very rarely are they going to. So I'm not in love with this one, and it needs 7+ to be a 4/3 flyer for 5 mana. It's a little tougher. If you really like this card and you think it should be in consideration if we're in black, let me know in the comments as always. Behind it, our next card is another uncommon in Hemosymbic Might. Now, notably, this card on its own, not great. Whenever it becomes tapped, it can give another creature you control +1/+1 until end of turn, because that's what this thing's power would be. But like playing this on turn 1 and then immediately playing that white uncommon that we just opened, where is he? The Rayblade Trooper, that puts a +1/+1 counter on him, and then he taps, and then every time he taps, he puts he gives something +2/+2 until end of turn, and then any more counters that he gains, +3/+3, +4/+4, etc. Like, that's where this card lives, so it should go in the +1/+1 counter deck, and we do have cards for it, so I would probably put this in. It seems really good. Behind it, our rare mythic is... yeah, okay, a Halia Guided by Light. Notably, I mean, it's a white card. It's not for the +1/+1 counter deck. It actually really arguably is for the 2 spells deck per turn, but there's also like a bit of life gain synergies, right? And honestly, incidental life gain, not really a problem. So like first of all, playing a bunch of things would be great. But yeah, this card gets in kind of regardless. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/3 that when it enters, you gain a life, and that's good enough on its own. And then if you get to draw a card every once in a while, that's cool too. Warping it in for 1 is insane, right? Because you can play it for 1 and then play out some other things, hopefully at least one other thing, and gain 2 life that turn. And then obviously, if you can play 2 things after this for 1 mana, you're cooking. So there's that. But then obviously you can warp it in later on, or from warp later on. So that is our rare. That's a pretty good one for what we're trying to do. And so our foil is a foil white uncommon in Reroute Systems. Very nice. So, I mean, notably, both modes are great. Destroy, or not destroy. Target artifact or creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Literally the opposite of destroy. Or 2 damage to a tapped creature. If you need that second mode, use it. If you need that first mode, use it. Win some combats. Like, this is really cool. Like, you have the Hemosymbic Might, right? Where you're going to turn it sideways and give something +2/+2 or +3/+3. And so that thing's going to be too big, but they're going to be like, all right, well, at least I'll kill the Hemosymbic Might and maybe trade with it. Who cares? And then you're just going to put this on it. And make it indestructible, and then kill their thing, and your might stays around to do it again the next turn. Like, this card's great. Really, really happy to have that. We have a swamp, gorgeous art, obviously, on the swamp, and a lander/robot token. 3 more packs to go. We are halfway through this kit. And we start with a card that I am not a big fan of, I will not lie, in Nebula Dragon. We tried this thing out at pre-release, and I believe it was a trap. That's my personal opinion. Amy believes the same. For those of you that are unaware, you'll see her on streams, but Amy, my wife, and I got to play in a 2-headed giant event, and thankfully, even though she had this card in her deck, she didn't see it too much because, you know, otherwise it wasn't very useful anyway, so... Gravkill, on the other hand, is a very useful card. That card's incredible. We have a Self-Craft Mechan. If you're in this deck, this card's incredible. We're not in this kit. Focus Fire absolutely gets in, no question. Very good removal spell. Instant speed, at least 2 damage to an attacking or blocking creature. But in this deck, we're probably going to have a fair number of creatures. So there's that as well. It just gets bigger. Drix Fatemaker gives more counters to things. It can warp. And creatures with counters have trample. Absolutely incredible. Definitely gets in. What a great +1/+1 counter deck we're coming up with so far. We have Rig for War. I'm not as much in love with this one. Like, +3/+0 in first strike means you're going to kill literally anything for 2 mana. But I don't know. I'm still not super high on it. We have a Meltstrader's Gear. Even though it's in green, I'm really not in love with this card. +2/+1 and Reach. Reach is a defensive ability, and I'm not a big fan of it. It doesn't have Flash, so you can't really use it that defensively. And the equip cost is 5 to give +2/+1 and Reach. Like, no thank you. Not a big fan of this card at all. We have an Umbral Collar Zealot as our first uncommon. This card is just incredible. Not for the kit that we've opened so far, but a really, really great card. Unravel, not bad at all for a counterspell. Again, not for this kit, but still. And a Harmonious Grove Strider. I would put this card in. It's equal to the number of lands we control, like we're going to have probably 5 land by the time we play this guy. And so it's a 5 mana 5/5 with Ward 2. And that's good enough on its own. I really don't need to see anything else, but it can hopefully attack as a 6/6 if you get another land the next turn. So regardless, and obviously this thing wears +1/+1 counters very well with Ward 2. So yeah, I mean, it almost certainly gets in. Like if we really need to cut some cards, maybe I would look at this, but like this could be a very good top end for the +1/+1 counter deck. And so our next card, because that's our 3 uncommons, is an Honored Knight Captain. I mean, it makes a 1/1. It itself is a 1/1. It's 2 mana, and then you can sack it to go get an equipment. Even if I don't use that 6 mana ability, I would not be ashamed putting this card in my deck. It makes 2 1/1s for 2 mana, and we're in the +1/+1 counter strategy with this kit, so like you can make those 1/1s into a lot bigger threats by just giving them +1/+1 counters somehow. So yeah, I really like this card. I would almost certainly put it in. It's a great one. And so behind it, that's not even our rare or mythic. Our rare or mythic is a Secluded Star Forge. I mean, again, cares about artifacts. It's not really what this kit's doing. I'm not really in love with this one. I also don't love 5 mana to make a robot, but I guess late game, if you're really looking for a mana sink, it's fine. But again, not really in this deck. So behind the Star Forge, our foil is a foil Bright Spear Zealot. Now, notably, even though it's white, it does care about you casting 2 spells in a turn. You might be able to do that because you have some in this kit, we have a lot of the warp creatures that are lower costed for warp, and so they warp in, do a thing, and then you could maybe warp 2 things, but then later you're going to have to cast it for a higher casting cost, and you just incidentally have low costed things like, you know, this Honored Knight Captain or the Might that we were just talking about. But I still don't know that I like, maybe I would put 1 in. I'm not like jumping up and down about the fact that we've got multiples of them because we're already looking at +1/+1 counters. I'm not really trying to do double spells as well. We have a Plains, gorgeous art, and a Lander/robot token. 2 more packs to go. Speaking of 2, we also have 2 other channels. Links down in the description box below for our video games channel, Video Games for All, and Gluten Free for All. If you're interested in some gluten-free food reviews and or cooking, you should definitely go check out that channel, and Instagram's down below as well. We have another Weft Blade Enhancer. Definitely gets in. We had 1 other before. We have a Shattered Wings. Again, very good sideboard card for this deck. And now that we have 2 of them, that's pretty good. Don't like Nebula Dragon. Grav Kill I do like. Again, lots of duplicates. Selfcraft Mechan again. A Wormtail Sweeper. Again, I'm not in love with this spacecraft. Like 4+, it's a 2/2 flyer, and it surveils 2. So like this one, I think is excusable to put in your deck, but I still probably wouldn't. If you need artifacts, that's when I would put this in my deck. A Command Bridge, if we're trying to put a 3rd color in, like red, then I would probably play this. But if we're not, if we're only 2 colors, which it kind of is looking like we are going to be 2 colors, we haven't seen a lot of great red. It was really like the one uncommon landfall guy for red-green, then I'm probably not putting this in, and I'm probably not, because of that, I'm probably not putting in the spacecraft that is Harrow either. We have a Full Bore, not a bad card, but not something that's going to push us into splashing red, but that's our first uncommon. A Bygone Colossus. God, this would be so good if we were using those Terradromes or whatever they are, the things that can tap to give +1/+1 and haste. This would absolutely get in. You warp this in for 3, tap that thing. You play that on 3, play this on 4. Tap that thing, give this +1/+1 and haste, and swing for 10 on turn 4. But again, then they just chump block, right? And it's you don't get a ton out of it. So like it's fun to do, but it's definitely not like a game-winning strategy or anything, because like you're not going to get to 9 mana. But anyway, but that means that our last uncommon is a Mechan Navigator, and of course I kind of lied. We don't know what our next card is, but it is another uncommon. I was right. In Melt Strider's Resolve, I actually really like this card. It gives +0/+2 and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. That last part's somewhat irrelevant. The relevant part is that whatever you give +0/+2 to fights up to 1 target creature your opponent controls. That's absolutely incredible. Fight spells are great. +1/+1 counters make fights even better for you, obviously. And so this is very good. I know a lot of people aren't fans of putting auras on creatures because it just means that you're going to get 2 for 1 if they kill your creature while you target it. But like, you're hopefully going to be putting this on like your least powerful threat. and still killing their thing that you want to kill, and yours not dying in the process because it just got 2 more toughness. So, you know, there are a lot of different options and ways to like make this be still not too devastating if they remove the creature. But anyway, our next rare or mythic is a Moonlit Meditation. I love, love, love this art. I think it's absolutely incredible. I don't love this ability. I mean, obviously we opened some decent blue, I won't lie. A lot of Cryo Shatters. We got one of the whales. We have this, but like, I don't know. I don't know how much I love this card. The art is insane though. Absolutely incredible. And our foil, yeah, a foil green card in Sammy's Curiosity. You know, I would put this in, like, we don't have a lot of 1-drops. We have the Might, right, that I keep talking about because it's such a good card. But, like, this is not a bad 1-drop at all. And then if you don't have anything to do on 2, you can just sack the lander. But, like, you gain 2 life in the process. Like, this is not a bad card at all. So, really, really like this one. Obviously, this wants to be more in the landfall deck because you get the lander and, you know, whatever, but still, I would put this into a green deck. Like, if I have to cut something, I'll cut it, that's fine. But if I'm looking for a 23rd, I would put this in. That's not a bad card. Our land is a regular plains and a lander/robot token. We have 1 pack to go. Right now, it looks like we're going to be in green-white +1/+1 counter strategy, in my opinion. But as always, if you disagree, if you agree, you're more than welcome to let me know in the comments down below, and we really appreciate it. We have a Kav Landseeker and Embrace Oblivion. Love that one. Cloud Sculpt Technician. I know Amy loves these jellyfish guys. Another Brightspear Zealot, 3rd one of these. Again, if I put in 1, I'd be surprised. A Sky Stinger. I would put in at least 1 of these. Again, if we're looking for cuts, I would cut the 2nd one because I know we have at least 1 other of these already. But like having a decent blocker, especially against like spacecraft, if they really get spacecraft going, and now you have a way to like get an 8/3 spacecraft blocker, that's pretty damn good. So another Cavarone Turbo Drone, that's at least 3 of these too, which is pretty cool. A Depressurize again, good card. A Pinnacle Kill Ship. Again, it's 7 mana for this one, so even though it does deal a ton of damage to a creature, that's when you play it, it's 7 mana, so the cost is a little too much, in my opinion. This is an incredible pickup for our deck. All Fate Stalker is so good, so good. I would put this in any white deck I'm in, and this white deck that we're playing is very strong, so this absolutely gets in. I'm like in love with this card. It's probably one of my favorite cards in the set. We have a Cavarone Harrier as our 2nd uncommon. And a Mouth of the Storm. I like this art a lot. His mouth is very big, so they appropriately named this thing for sure. And so our next card is a rare in Beyond the Quiet. God, playing this at pre-release would have been great. Always play the board wipe. Like you think, oh, well, you're going to have all these +1/+1 counter creatures. Unless you don't, and then you need a board wipe. So this is an absolutely incredible card. Gets in, no question. And the art is absolutely insane. But that means that our foil, I feel like that, yeah, our foil is a Mechan Shieldmate. Not bad at all. That art is gorgeous. In foil, obviously, we're not playing it in this kit, but the foiling pattern looks really cool. And this is just it's a cool card for the artifact deck, I'll give you that. And a full art mountain, our only full art land of the opening. No mythics, by the way, and like no, big hit foils. We obviously have a promo foil rare, but still. And a lander/robot token. So, I mean, maybe I guess I lied. Obviously, we have the Stomping Ground, probably the most valuable thing we've opened today. Maybe you'll let me know that, like, hey, Joe, the foil Diadrene is actually a lot more than you think, or the Ragost is, like, doing really well in Commander or something. So you're more than welcome to let me know that in the comments down below as well. But otherwise, I'm going to choose to believe that the Stomping Ground is the most valuable thing that I opened today because, not fetch lands. I mean, those are a thing as well, and that's a part of the reason why these are expensive. But shock lands, they're very good. But anyway, so yes, I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Would you also play green-white +1/+1 counters? It just feels like that's correct in this kit. But would you splash red? We had a couple of cards that might help us do that, but not really. But yeah, you can go back and take a look and let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever the case may be. Like I said, you can check out the links in the description down below. We've got 2 Instagram accounts, we've got 2 other channels, we've got our Discord, and we've got our Patreon, and we would love it if you would consider supporting us on there as well if you're enjoying the things that we're doing on this channel. And if you're enjoying the things that we're doing and you want to see more, please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so that you will get notifications whenever any of our videos come out and or whenever we go live. Hopefully we'll see you on a Magic Monday stream coming up soon, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to have you. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe, and as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.